Hey Spirit Island fans, Matt here with another game. This is Spirit that I don't play that often, Vengeance. I am something of a hater, if I'm being honest, but a friend was like, you should play more Vengeance and check it out. It has some interesting matchups. So let's get into it. We're going to be going against Prussia 6 to get the game over quickly because that is the fastest matchup there is. Okay. Mountains and wetlands, not the worst things, all things considered. And we are probably just going to let some of these ravages go. Simply because we want Destroyed Presence as vengeance. We get disease out of it, and then we get a Badlands from the Blight. So Vengeance is special role, treats Badlands or treats Blight as Badlands and gets a disease anytime Presence is destroyed by something other than a spirit action. We also are going to get a little bit of fear just by allowing things to build. So our game plan is probably going to be to win at Terror level 3 and get rid of all the cities, because inland places will not build cities this game. So, I think we're gonna Fiery Vengeance in this land, which will stop the build there. This land we're probably just gonna let go, and this land we're gonna get let go, which means we need to figure out a solution for this. I think adding a disease makes sense to me. So that will give us a blight on wetlands, jungle, and mountains. That's fairly strong. And one of the nice things about Prussia is we can sort of, once things are like beginning to be pocketed, we can start cleaning out the board. So let's. Oh, unfortunately, if we do Fiery Vengeance here, we can't actually place a presence with G2 because it needs to be placed with a town, city, or a blight. So let's grab a power card. Domesticated animals go berserk. Crazy good draw. Swarming wasps, also very on element, but I'm not sure that we're going to be able to use it well because we do tend to add a lot of blight. Though anytime we picked up a sands draw, this would instantly get use. Let's go domesticated animals. I think that is the strongest draw here. And we're going to add a presence here. Fiery Vengeance, and then Fetid Breath to add a disease. And domesticated animals will actually allow us to defend one of these if we want to. We're going to allow that build. Also, I don't know why I said don't build inland cities. I think I played a Habsburg game recently. That's obviously not happening here. And so we're going to place it, it's a build into the sand, so we'll place it onto a non-sand. And Fetid Breath, we will pop here. Yeah, I think that's right. And then we're going to G2 to start getting our presence out. We'll place one here because we want the presence to be destroyed. And then I think we place one more, maybe here. Can't be bad to have that. And strike low, we cannot afford to play strike low and domesticated. That is deeply depressing. Maybe we have to G2 again? Let's see what that would look like. So we get 1 energy naturally. If we G2, we can go up to 2 energy, and we get the 1 energy there. So that would give us enough. It also brings us up to 2 cards left in hand. And then we would just have to, we could place our presence here still. Yeah, I like this. Bloodrose Predators, great card. Gift of Living Energy, very solid card. Land of Haunts and Embers, very funny on Vengeance. I dig this a lot. That is, I think that's a very fun card. We could see Desiccating Winds. We treat Blight as Badlands. So we can hit the top part of, if it has Badlands, deal 1 damage, and then add a Badlands. It's still just like not that strong of a card though. But probably better on us than others. Bloodrose Predators is just a really nice card. I think I mean, Lands of Haunts and Embers we can also use to just like instantly clear this next turn, which is very like that's an interesting line of play. I like sticking on element, and we have a lot of different pings of damage from our right and left innate that'll make sure Blood Draws Predators triggers. Okay, and we are placing our presence here because we want it to be destroyed. Okay, and next turn we have 2 costs of cards, and we will go for both of these, 2 cards, 2 energy, all set. Great. Domesticated animals. Swing up. Strike low. Temporary truce. Stops that from blighting. Love it. Phenomenal event. Skip all explore actions and lands with at least 2. Love to see it. The coastal back-to-back is a little painful, but we'll get through it. And we don't really have a good solution to this. I think we're just letting this go. So we want to put 1 presence here just to make sure that we have like a presence get destroyed. And then I'm also going to put 1 here. Blood Draws Predators, the next time invaders are destroyed, it'll add a beast and then do 1 damage. And so we have our right and our left innate available to us. So both of those do 1 damage. So for instance, we could Blood Draws Predators here, do 1 damage with the innate to kill the town, and then also kill the town there. I think that's a nice play. The other option would be, I mean, we can basically only kill a town. We can put a second presence here so that we can add a Badlands, and then use Savage Revenge. Because if we had a second presence here, this will get destroyed, there will be a Blight, and then Savage Revenge at range 0 could still be used. That's kind of an interesting line. That would let us kill the city, and then we have a disease here, so we could Plague Bearers to push the other stuff out. I like that. Okay, Blood Draws Predators. We're using it here so that we can hit the 1 damage ping there. So it'll 2 damage from Savage Revenge because there will be a Blight. And then that's going to add another 2 from Blood Draws Predators. So in total, that'll do 4 damage. Okay. And I guess this can only be used in one of these 2 places. Might as well just kill that Explorer. Add a town. I don't know, man. I guess this is a land that we were probably just going to skip with Strike Low next turn. Incredible pull. Now Blood Draw is going to be even stronger. Defend 1 plus 1 per adjacent. A single defense will not be enough to stop that. Do we want to allow that build or not? I think in general, minimizing the number of cities is strong, but we're early enough on that I think we just gotta allow it. We're allowing this here, and I think we are allowing that build. Have to add a town somewhere. Might as well add it to the land with the beast. Okay. 2 damage. And then 3 damage from Blood Draws Predators thanks to the event adding a beast. Blessed luck. Great. And then Plague Bearers is going to push the Explorer and the town into here. And we are definitely pushing the disease with it. So game plan now is push a bunch of stuff in here and then kill it. Let's fish for a miner. Call to guard, gather a Dahan, then defend 1 per Dahan. Carapace land. Defend 6 if we're playing the right cards. And Isolate is very strong. Defend 2, 1 fear. It's got these two have our elements. Sky Stretches, very strong, but I'm not sure we have the card plays to justify it, given how important our innate elements are. Sky Stretches could be used, for instance, to make domesticated animals go berserk, have the range, but this turn we're only going to have 2 card plays, so not as effective. The other thing to consider is that it might make sense for us to not play Strike Low and instead allow this to blight this turn so that we can have a blight here so that we can start grabbing Badlands, because this is back to back and we're not going to be able to strike low twice, so it might make sense to allow the first blight to go through. I kind of dig that. So then what does this look like? Sky Stretches plus domesticated animals so that we can stop this Ravage. I mean, that's not the worst thing I've ever seen. You really do just wish this had a slightly better range. Carapace Land can only do range 2 places that have a beast, which is not relevant. I think we're going to be playing... maybe we let both of these blight? That's not the worst thing in the world. Yeah. That's an interesting idea. If we do that, then we can pick up, like, just the thing that's on element, right? Let's say Carapace Land. We've got a good number of beasts on the board. Fiery Vengeance solves that. We have Destroyed Presence. And then maybe Fetid Breath is going to add a disease to here. Maybe Plague Bears lets us push some stuff around. Blood Draws Predators, not useful. This doesn't have the range. This doesn't have the range. We don't have any Sacred Sites out, so Roiling Bog can't be used. Fetid Breath is an expensive card. We have the energy to pay for it. We're going up to 3 card plays next turn. It's not the best element-wise, so that sort of lets us play 3 good on-element cards next turn. Okay. Well, this is a disaster. So top card, immediately Ravage in the land with the most invaders that matches a Ravage card. That's here, and it's about to Ravage again, so we would immediately cascade. That would cause us 3 blight, and we're already blighting here, so it's 4, and then realistically this can only cascade one other place, 5 blight. I mean, we lose if we do that. Unnerving Distractions, Ravage cards skip a matching land. Great, we get a Fear, but we are removing the bottom card, so we're quickening the timeline even worse. I do think we have to do it, though. Beast also count as Badlands, not useful for us. Remove an explorer or town from an inland land. Great. Angry Mobs, phenomenal. So we can destroy a town, 2 towns there. Each player adds a strife to a town. We're skipping 1 Ravage, right? Because of Hardworking Settlers, yeah. So let's skip this, and we'll add the strife there. And we're going to Ravage here. Skip. Allow the build. Okay. This will conveniently die in the Ravage. And then we could put the disease here or here in order to Plague Bear stuff out next turn. I like that line. Yeah, let's do that. So we're going to allow that to build, get the Fear, and then Plague Bears pushes it in there. We're now going up to 3 card plays. Plague Bear solves this solves itself, this gets skipped with Strike Low, and then if we add something with a claw and something with fire, we're going to be able to hit this, but we can actually only play the thing with the claw. Whatever. We still get to do 2 damage per disease into this land with 3 disease and a blight. That's 7 damage. We're killing 2 cities right off the bat. That feels good. And the Carapace land basically does nothing for us. I mean, defend 6. Oh, interesting. What about this line of play? Blood draws predators here. Epidemic Storm Rampant does 7 damage. Blood draws predators will then trigger to do 2 more damage. And then we're only left with 4. Carapace Land defends for 3. Let me make sure this works. No, because there was an additional town there that I forgot about. We could, instead of Bloodrust Predators, domesticated animals. So this has, it's doing 15, and we're going to be defending for 5 plus 3, 8, and we're doing 7 damage. So that's exactly right. That's the sweet spot. And it gets us a ton of fear. And this lets us strike low next turn. Okay. So we have 3 fire, so we can play this immediately to do 2 damage at a sacred site. Simply love to see that. Each beast generates 1 fear if invaders are present and moves to an adjacent land if not. Great. And I do not think we have enough to hunt in our lands. Gather up to 3 explorers or town from a single land into a land with 2 or more invaders. We're going to stop that ravage, or stop that build. Invaders do -1 damage per damage they've taken, and in a land matching a ravage card, 1 damage to up to 2 different invaders. We have this card to be able to do 1 damage, so I think what we want to do is hit both of these towns. Remove an explorer town from a land with 2 or fewer invaders. That can only hit these. Let's remove that. Okay. And we're going to allow the build because we're going to leftinate here next turn, so we have a ton of damage that's going into it. Okay, very nice. This conveniently will just solve itself again. We do not have a good use of Plague Bearers, but we can use this to do 2 damage to kill off those 2 towns. And we're now at terror level 3, and we only have 2 more fasts and a slow. So we need to think about how we kill these cities. That's kind of the challenge. And it might just be that we push some of the explorers into here. So next turn, we are going to G3 to get a 3rd energy. So we're going to be sitting on 4 energy. So we can play any card that we draw. And we have 3 fire and 3 claw. So as long as we draw a single claw, we're going to be able to hit 2 per damage. So I think we are going to do this. So we don't need to do too much damage here. If we do 2 explorers, yeah. Oh, we have to push them, don't we? Okay, whatever. And we want to send, I think... I don't know if we want to send the... I don't know if this is the correct move. But I do think that we need to have disease in this land in order to kill it. So yes. Okay, and I think we move just 1. Or no, we can move a 2nd, because we're going to draw, very likely to draw a claw card. Yeah, we're fine. Okay. Elemental Boon, very nice. Set them on an ever-twisting trail, also quite nice. Veil the Knight's Hunt. Yeah, sure. These are all kind of interesting. Elemental Boon, I think, shines because it gives us all of the elements that we want to play anyway. Okay. So we go elemental boon for definitely a fire, definitely a claw, and nothing we add other than that will help. Let's add a water. And so now we can use Savage Revenge to do 3 damage to kill this city. We can use Epidemics Run Rampant, kills this city. Strike Low just gives us a little fear. And Blood draws predators here so that when we do that damage, it kills it. Choose a land with cities, build there. I guess building here and allowing it just adds a town. Doesn't really matter. I don't know. Cool. A ton of defend. Each player chooses a different land with Dahan, in each 2 damage and defend 4. Oh, we can do this here. Not super useful, but at least we kill a town, we get some fear. I do love that this leads to like 27 defend, 24 defend. Okay. And we are now at the, we either have to win or lose next turn. Savage Revenge, 3 damage to the town, and then we do 1 more damage because of Blood Draws Predators, which thus far, great card for us. And we're going to reclaim, pick up a miner, weep for what is lost perfectly on element, and we're just going to play a bunch of cards that are on our elements. Blood Draws Predators, Domesticated Animals, 6 damage. And that is a Terror level 3 victory on Vengeance, the worst spirit in the game, versus Prussia. Okay, let me know if there's other spirits that you want to see played.